Hello everyone on YouTube, it's Jordan here again, bringing you another video, and we're going to go on a nostalgia trip for those visually impaired people who gave Linux a try and loved it, but then gave up because the project wasn't working out really well. But there are some accessible distros out there, and we're going to take a look at a historic distro. That's right, we're going to take a look at vinux. Now I've already got a virtual machine set up. So where you can download vinux is you get it from sourceforge.net, and if you want I can provide the link in the description for the latest version, which is 5.1, which is based off of Ubuntu 14.04 Trusty Tor. And there I say it, don't install this on your main machine. This is not meant to be installed on your main computer. You can use it in a VM, but if you've got a PC with Vinux on it already, then I suggest you upgrade it to a more modern Linux distribution, because this distribution, and especially Ubuntu 14.04, ceased support back in 2019. So it lost support from the Vinux project in 2017, and then it lost support from Canonical in 2019 because of the Ubuntu updates and stuff. Now, this distro comes with 3 desktop environments out of the box. We get the GNOME desktop, which is not accessible. It's there if you need it though. We get the Unity desktop, the classic Ubuntu desktop, which you can still download from their repositories, by the way. And we get the Mate desktop, which is 90% of the time I end up using. It's my favourite desktop environment. So without further ado, let's get started and boot up our Vinux VM. I'm using VirtualBox on Windows 10. So let's install and enjoy Vinux together. So
caps lock, pause video, stop taking video button, Oracle V virtual
there's our VM.
Button, Linux virtual, menu setting, home, move, X for move, group alt, start alt T.
Let's start her up.
Normal start, Oracle V.
So it should be starting up right now.
Button closed, Linux virtual machine. Menu setting, clone, move, extra, move, group, alt, show, alt, pause, alt, reset, alt, close, alt, discard, save, show, log, CT, refresh, alt, F1, camera, Oracle virtual box C, program, can't download Linux running Oracle VM.
There we go. So now we just wait for the VM to start up. Now we should get Orca talking to us. So we give it a few minutes.
Virtual box content is not visible. Content Linux running Oracle VM. Recognize you have the virtual machine Linux run.
Install frame. Language selector. Table with 7 left control.
There we go. Our virtual machine is set up.
Start window. Search.
Language
Linux running Oracle VM virtual box.
Install frame. Language selector. Table with 72 row tab. Try Ubuntu push button. Language selector. Table with 70 tab. Try Ubuntu push button.
I want to try it because I want to set things up before we go ahead and install it.
Port 14.14.20.49 Linux locale chooser. Info. Set Debian installer / console display equals console setup. Port 14.14.20.49 Linux locale chooser. Info. Set Debian installer / country equals US port 14.14.20.50 Linux locale chooser. Info. Set Debian installer / locale equals n_US.utf8 port 14.14.20.50 Linux locale chooser. Info. System locale Debian installer / locale equals n_US.utf8 port 14.14.20.50 Linux Ubiquiti 2868 netcomputer _
virtual box C.
Gonna have to restart that again because it was speaking a lot of Linux nonsense.
Menu setting, Clone Move, Extra Move, Group of Start Alt T, Normal Start Alt N, Oracle VM VirtualBox Manager Window, Split Button, List Linux aborted Oracle VM VirtualBox, Linux starting Oracle VM VirtualBox, Linux running Oracle VM VirtualBox.
I think we'll just install it as it is, without setting things up. But we can set up our screen reader though. There's my PC's fans spinning here. So as I said, Orca started speaking to us the moment we booted up the image. So let's wait for it to boot. This does take a while though. Any minute now.
Screen reader on. Install frame. Language selector. Table with 72 rows, 1 column. English. Left control.
Now I'm going to set up my screen reader the way I want it to, just for the installation process. So I'm going to go and press insert and space.
Screen reader preferences. General tab.
I only want to go into this, I only want to
Rail
focus
updates
on
check
the...
tab. Beep updates check tab. Frequency text tab. Restrict to app tab. Mouse panel. Pre tab. Speak object under mouse checkbox checked. Left present progress frequency updates checkbox not checked.
Beep updates.
Checked.
That's always a good thing to hear.
Left trail up. Speak update keyboard layout. General page tab. OK push button.
And hopefully...
So, return. Screen reader settings reloaded. Install frame. Language selector. Table with 72 rows, 1 column. English.
Hopefully we won't hear any Ubuntu Linux jargon. So we're in the language selector, so we're going to pick English, and what you want to do
Tab. Try Ubuntu push button.
to install this in a VM,
Press space tab. Install Ubuntu push button.
install Ubuntu.
Return.
That's what we're going to do.
Download updates while installing checkbox not checked. Press space to toggle.
So you can see, this is very much like the regular Ubiquity installer. So download updates while installing.
Space. Checked.
Standard Ubuntu stuff.
Tab. Install this third-party software checkbox not checked.
Install third-party software for graphics, drivers, Wi-Fi and additional media formats. Yep, we want to do that.
Checked.
Next one.
Tab. Quit push button. Tab. Back push button. Alt tab. Continue push button.
We're going to click continue.
Return.
And it'll begin the installation. Just about. So we're going to wait for some more feedback from the installer. But I think we'll be on to the partitioning part now. I think this is it's the exact same as you would for a regular Ubuntu install. So let's see what we've got here.
Tab. Download updates while installing checkbox checked. Press space to toggle.
So we're going to wait for a while. This does take a while.
0%.
There we go.
Erase this and install vinux. Selected radio button.
And since we've got
Use
nothing,
arrow keys to change.
since we've got nothing on the disk, we're going to click erase disk and install Vinux.
Tab. Encrypt the new Linux installation for security checkbox not checked.
We don't want to encrypt it because, you know,
Tab. Use LVM with the new Linux installation checkbox not checked.
we're not going to be using this as our main operating system. We're going to be messing about with this operating system.
Tab. Quit push button.
So I'm going to click.
Alt tab. Back push button.
I'm going to click
Tab.
on
Install now push button.
install now.
Plus I. Return. Write the changes to disks. If you continue, the changes listed below will be written to the disks. Otherwise, you will be able to make further changes manually. Tab. Continue push button.
I'm going to click continue for that one.
Return. Install frame. 5%. 100%. Panel.
Okay, so where are we now? Oh yeah, the
Tab. Text. London selected.
time
Type
zone
in
setting.
text. Tab. Continue push button. To activate, press space. Return. Table with 93 rows, 1 column. English, UK. 20%.
I'm glad that in modern versions of Ubuntu they've moved it over to the first part of setup now for the keyboard setup.
Tab. Table with 8 rows, 1 column. English, UK.
So
30%.
our keyboard looks right.
Tab. Text. Type here to test
We're
your
going to tap here to
keyboard.
test to see if our
Type in
keyboard's
text.
working.
For
Ubuntu
U space
is
R space A
awesome.
E tab.
That's working.
Detect keyboard layout tab. Back push button tab. Continue push button.
Continue the
57
installation.
Your name.
Type in my name.
Your name. Type in
Nearly
text.
done now.
JRDAN. Tab. The name it uses when it talks to other computers. Your computer's
I'm just
name.
going to call it
Text. Left
Vinux.
INUX. Tab. Pick a username. Text. Jordan select tab.
Yep.
Choose a password. Black circle. Black circle.
Pick a
Confirm
password.
your password. Black circle. Black circle. Encrypt my home folder checkbox not checked.
Encrypt my home
Press
folder.
space
No, I
to toggle
currently
tab.
don't.
Back push button tab. Continue push button.
Once we click continue, it's going to get on with the installation. So now we wait a while.
1%. 100%.
While Vinux is actually installing, people probably want to know what Vinux actually is. Well, Vinux was a Linux distribution
0%.
designed for the visually impaired in mind. It was designed for them in mind. It was based on Ubuntu. The first version of Vinux was based on Ubuntu 10.04 Lucid Linux. It had Orca pre-configured, but
1%.
it was otherwise unimportant. It was just Vinux. It was just the introduction. So, if you watch my previous video, you'll know what happened with Vinux. So, nothing wrong with that. So, Vinux is actually installing right now. And my laptop's fan is really spinning up, as you can hear. And
11%.
that's one criticism of this laptop. It doesn't have the best cooling system, but it has the best performance. And considering that we're
12%.
installing this on a VM on Windows 10, so we're going to wait for this to install, which I've seen it do it really
30%.
quick.
%.
Sometimes it might ask us if we want to upgrade to Ubuntu 16.04 because I believe Vinux did have a
40%.
I believe Vinux did try and do one based on Ubuntu 16.04 because their PPA allows for it, but I don't think we ever got Vinux based on 16.04, better known as Zenil Xeris. This one's based on Trusty Tor anyway.
66%. 77%.
So we're going to wait for that.
89%.
This is going quicker than I thought. Also, with
74%.
these installer images, you could also install this in dual boot with Windows. Back in the days, if you wanted to, because you had Wooby, the official
91%.
the official canonical Ubuntu installer for Windows. You just don't do that anymore. That's why VMs are the only options now.
92%.
And we're on 92%, so our Vinux system will be nearly installed. Now I'm going to be using the Mate desktop environment
93%.
since it's more accessible and easy to navigate. And I'm going to show you how you can switch to that desktop environment if you're
91%.
following on along with me. So just make sure the VM is still awake because it might lock
Right
up.
left control installation complete. Installation is complete. You need to restart the computer in order to use the new installation. Restart now push button.
Look at that, Vinux is installed.
Return.
So now we're going to restart. wait for it to eject the installation media. Because we're in a VM, and the VM is rebooting. So what we're going to do once we've set ourselves up, play about with the distro, of course. And here we go. So I'm going to go ahead and switch to a different desktop environment. I'm going to go. There we go. We've got GNOME. And we've got my personal favourite, the Mate desktop, which I use on my Linux Mint laptop over there.
Return. Enter password for
so I'm going to go ahead and enter the password I set during the installation.
Wallet.
And we should be up and running.
Screen reader on.
Love that login sound. First of all, I'm going to type.
Read only text.
It wants to install Flash, but we're not going to let it. And rats.
Information available. Information tab. Run this action out tab.
Don't want Flash.
Button. Return. Icon new layout page.
Well, then again, it can't install it because.
Use either the arrow left control.
It can't install it because Canonical's removed it from the repository. So, Canonical 1, vinux 0. So we're going to go ahead and turn this thing up.
Escape.
Nope, I gotta do it the old-fashioned way.
Top expanded edge pan accessory educate rapid internet web sound and video audacious sound with audacious video sound S.
Oh cool, we get audacious on this thing. That's cool.
Return. Desktop frame. Top expanded edge panel frame. Top expanded edge panel. Applications menu. To enter a sub-menu, press the right arrow. Sound preferences.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and turn this thing up.
Tab. Mute checkbox. The output volume. 44,108.
Okay, that's easy to hear now.
Left close push button.
Close that.
Alt return. Icon new layout pane 0 item. Left control.
Do our usual screen reader setup again, just in case we do install any apps.
Screen reader preferences.
Okay, here we are on the general page.
Tab.
I want to go ahead.
Keyboard layout tab. Progress bar tab. Braille update tab. Beep updates checked space. Not checked. Space.
Oh wait.
Checked.
It's already set. It already remembered that we want to have progress bars beeping. That's pretty cool. No other distro I've installed does that before. So what I'm going to do then...
Left trail up the speak up the keyboard layout general page tab. Voice page tab.
Is going
speech
to
page tab. Enable speech page tab. Enable speech checkbox tab. Verbosity panel tab. Punctuation. Synonym.
I don't want
selected
punctuation.
Tab. Spoken cont tab. Speak blank lines tab. Speak indentation tab. Speak object tab. Speak child position tab. Speak tutorial messages check tab. System mess tab. Speak color left eye. Help push button. Alt tab. Apply push tab. Cancel apply push button.
I want to find the settings.
Screen reader settings reloaded.
Because I want to turn something else off.
Cancel push button. Apply push button. Alt tab. Cancel put tab. OK put tab. Speech page tab. Use left and braille page tab. Key echo page tab.
That's it, key echo. I want to turn that off.
Tab. Enable key echo check space.
Turn that off.
Not checked tab. Enable echo by character checkbox not checked.
Enable
Alt
echo by character.
Space. Checked tab. Enable echo by word checkbox checked. Alt plus
and enable echo by
not
word.
checked. Enable key echo page OK push button. Return. Screen reader settings reloaded. Icon new layout pane 0 items. To move to items, use either the arrow keys.
I bet you're curious now. Can we browse modern websites on Vinux? Well, you can and you cannot. So let me go ahead and open Firefox.
Top expanded edge panel. Top education graphics web internet web browser. Firefox debugger. Firefox web browser.
So let's go to Firefox.
Desktop frame. Icon new layout pane 0. Mozilla image link. Finished loading Ubuntu start page. Page for 12 landmarks.
The classic Ubuntu start page is back. I haven't seen this in a while. It's because I don't use Firefox on Linux, I use Google Chrome. And when I'm setting up Google Chrome, I usually remove Firefox and install Google Chrome. So now you're probably wondering, should we try YouTube? Okay, let's go try YouTube on this VM. But I doubt this is going to work. It'll probably ask us to upgrade our browser. But we're going to ignore the warning because we're going to see if we can actually play some videos.
Mozilla image link. Loading. Please wait. Finished loading https://www.youtube.com/supported browsers next.
Yeah, supported browsers. I wonder if we can...
image. No more buttons. Please update your browser. No more entry. Your browser now image Mozilla W Opera heading level Chrome Google Chrome. Remind me about link. Remind me later link.
Oh, remind me later.
Loading. Please wait.
Can we get to the main interface though? Wow, Firefox is slow. Just goes to show that I don't like Firefox.
A Google company before you continue to YouTube. Google uses cookies. English push button. Sign in push button. Customize push. Agree to the use of cookie.
We can't sign in because this app uses less sign-in technology.
Document frame.
So you don't have to be signed in to watch anything either. So
guide toggle button, not search entry. To enable focus mode, press insert +A.
I wish Orca did this in modern versions of Linux. This is just so good. I mean, this distro is really beginner friendly.
Focus mode.
So
search
let's look at one of my videos. Which one?
Search dot list.
Let's go to my channel.
Search filters top latest from my experience with Linux. Welcome to my keyboard. Jordan Lindsay delivers all Yamaha PSR 200. Guest review, get to know me. Use Orca screen reader to do everyday tasks on your Linux computer.
There they are, but I don't know which one I want to watch.
People also watched heading a sneak peek inside the new Flitwick Leisures. People also use Orca screen reader to do everyday tasks on your Linux. Jordan Lindsay link.
Let's go to my channel. That'll be better. We can search then.
Guide toggle. Shorts head the Yamaha PSR. The Yamaha P uploads my experience with Welcome to my keyboard. Close my experience tutorial. Dolphin Orpheus reads who created playlists link head Dolphin YouTube my welcome to my key.
Let's listen to one of my short videos.
My experience uploads link. The Yamaha PSR 463 drums are total.
Okay, let's play this. This is the drums for the PSR 463.
YouTube.
Stop recording. Button.
You're signed out.
I hope that's picking it up. Oh, the video does indeed play. Maybe we don't even need to upgrade our browser after all, but it's highly recommended though. I'm not saying don't upgrade your browser. I'm gonna go back on Firefox. There we go.
Start recording. Stop recording.
Search filters top. Guide toggle. No more entries. Focus mode. Search or enter address in UTV. On guide toggle button not pressed.
Yeah, let's reset the browser.
Toggle. Loading. Please wait. https://www.youtube.com. Wrapping to top. YouTube OGB.
There we go.
Guide top.
So
search entry.
Let's go back
enable focus mode. Search combo box. Press.
Let's go to my 100.
1. Search 1 list with 40. Search combo box.
Doesn't help that you're on an old version of Linux.
Browse mode. Focus mode. Type selection delete.
I know.
List with 49. DLRVEY. Search filters toggle button not.
Now I did this video back when I had an iPhone. This is the slow internet. Here are some common problems video that I did back in I believe it was before I got the PSR 8000 actually.
Focus mode, browse mode, slow internet. Here are some common problems.
I even use background music as well. I use the London Bridge instrumental track from the Green Orbs. So let's see if the video works.
YouTube video player.
Hello everyone on YouTube, Jordan here again, and today we've got some background music, courtesy of the Greenwoods. In this video, we're going to be talking about what could be taking up all your internet connection. Okay, that seems to be working really well. Hello everyone on YouTube,
Sign in push button, search or enter a server loading. Please wait. Sign in push button. To activate, press space. Document frame. Google search entry.
Okay, so those are some. You can definitely watch YouTube videos still on this old version of Ubuntu, but I highly discourage you using this browser. If you can find a browser that still works on Ubuntu 14.04, probably not that many actually, probably none actually, because Ubuntu might shut down the repository for Trusty Tar in 2023. That's usually when repos become inactive anyway, especially for Linux distros. So let's close out of Firefox and see what apps we get on this Linux distribution.
Confirm close. You are about to close 2 tabs. Are you sure you want to continue? Close tabs push button. You are about to close tabs push button. Desktop frame.
And if you want to watch the videos that I've just shown in this section, you can totally do that, by the way. It is entirely up to you. Okay, so let's go explore the apps we have on our virtual machine. So let me press the Windows key.
Icon view layer Jordan's home.
If it'll let me.
Wastebasket icon.
Oh, the classic wastebasket. This is what they call the trash bin. It's called the wastebasket. And I like that icon, it's pretty cool. So what do we have on our desktop then?
Jordan's home icon.
We've got our home folder.
Computer icon.
And our hard drive. And our wastebasket. If only Linux still called it that today. So I'm going to go through all the apps that are installed on this virtual machine.
Top expanded edge panel frame. Top expanded edge panel education accessories menu.
So we've got
create and modify an archive.
That's
activity log manager.
We've got
A. To activate, press return.
Activity log manager.
Alarm clock. A.
Alarm clock. I don't think this was really necessary, because in those days, computers...
Linux. William Peckham sent a message in Linux. The Debian project. There are 31,387 source packages in Debian Bullseye. Hashtag release 1544. Screen off.
Applications.
Sign in. Please sign into 20301.
Authentication is new window. Enter password now in. Login. Window. Secure edit text.
There we go. Sorry about that. I had to deal with some unruly technology. You know what it is with computers. Right, where? Oh yeah, we were going to explore apps. Oh, by the way, that tweet was from Debian. I don't know why they're excited about Debian Bullseye, because it's not going to be any good. Let me tell you, Debian's not the best Linux distro out there. Debian is only good when you build a distro on top of it, like Ubuntu. And let me tell you, Debian still uses an outdated version of apt currently in the Buster repositories. It's using apt 1.0 and Ubuntu is using apt 2. Wow. That's why I don't use Debian, because all its packages are nowhere near the latest versions. Which is why I am never, ever using Debian as my main distro, because none of the packages are up to date to begin with. Alright, so where were we? Packages, there we go.
Archive manager, alarm clock.
That's the alarm clock. Yeah, so as I said before I was rudely interrupted, the alarm clock, if you had a decent computer, you could use it to wake you up in the morning. But back in those days, computers had to be shut down all the time. I mean, computers were just becoming more robust back in those days. But I still recommend you shut down a Linux anyway, but you could use it to set a timer if you wanted to. I mean, we could play about with that if we wanted to. If you want me to play about with the alarm clock, let me know in the comments. Please keep your comments relevant as well. I've had to block a few people because of certain comments, especially those that are offensive, like judging someone's audio quality. Doesn't matter how bad your audio quality is, as long as people enjoy your content, that's all that matters. Anyway, where? There we go. We're still on the alarm clock icon, so let's keep navigating.
Archive Manager. A.
Here we have the Archive Manager.
Backups. B.
Backups.
Calculator. C.
Calculator.
Character Map. ClamTK. C.
Now, this is an antivirus. Now, I don't know why this is even installed, because Linux doesn't really need it. I don't even know why Vinux decided to go for ClamTK. Maybe they just want to, maybe they just want to give the beginner user in mind that there is an antivirus if they need it. I don't know, but I've never needed it, especially in modern Linux.
Classic menu indicator.
So this is the classic Unity menu indicator.
Disks. D.
Disks. Most of these is just standard Ubuntu stuff that we still get today.
Enramper Archive Manager, Font Viewer, Calculator, Gedit PDF, Screenshot, Search for File, Take Screenshot, Weather Indicator, W.
I don't know where this weather indicator is from. It's probably a Vinux exclusive app, because I don't think there is one for a standard Ubuntu installation apart from the GNOME weather app. But it's good if you want to know the weather.
Activity Log Manager, A.
So let's go over to our
Access Education menu, E.
Education menu and see what we have.
LibreOffice Math.
We've just got LibreOffice Math. No surprise there then.
Educate Graphics menu.
For graphics, we've got
Document Viewer. iOfmate Image Viewer. LibreOffice Draw. Simple Scan. Document Viewer. iOfmate Image Viewer. E.
I'm glad to see GIMP isn't installed. I absolutely do not recommend anyone use GIMP, especially if you want to use it especially if you're trying to use Linux in a working environment. I mean, GIMP can't beat Photoshop. It's just not adequate. You're probably best off having another computer on hand if you want to use photo editing software. And this distribution has made the right decision not to include GIMP, because back in those days, all distros were including GIMP. Of course, GIMP is no longer included in Linux Mint 20.2, or Linux Mint, should I say, or any modern version of Ubuntu.
Graphics menu.
So you have
G. To enter a sub-menu, press the right arrow. Internet menu. I. Download and share files over BitTorrent. Office Internet menu. Graphics menu. Internet menu.
So what have we got on for internet?
Browser. B. To activate, press return.
We've got an experimental browser that Canonical were working on, which, not surprisingly, no longer exists anymore, so it probably failed.
Firefox Web Browser.
We've got the Firefox browser, of course, which is the only browser we can actually use, because there aren't any other browsers that actually work with Vinux.
Gpodder. G.
We've got Gpodder, Podcast Client,
Mangler. M.
Mangler.
Pigeon Internet Messenger. P.
There's no point on using Pigeon because no one has an account with it.
Thunderbird Mail.
We've got Mozilla Thunderbird.
Transmission. D.
And transmission.
Browser. B.
Don't know why you'd ever need transmission if you're not going to be downloading a heck of a load of stuff. Then don't use transmission. Of course, transmission is a BitTorrent client, by the way, for those who don't know. Anyway, let's move on to the next category.
Internet Office menu. A dictionary. Document LibreOffice. L.
We've got dictionary.
Document Viewer.
Document Viewer. And not surprisingly, we've got the LibreOffice suite.
Document Office Men Sound and Video menu.
And here for our sound.
Sound volume Audacious.
We've got Audacious.
To activate Brasero. B.
Brasero. Back in those days, computers would have still had disk drives. Well, you would have installed this on a computer with a disk drive anyway if you wanted to do some disk burning. I don't know, maybe burn the latest version of the distro that you want to install.
Cheese.
We've got Cheese.
Gpodder. Sound. Videos. Audacious. A.
Not so much in there then. Not like Accessible Coconut, or it sets you up with a music studio.
Sound and System Tools menu.
So what have we got in System
Check
Tools?
folder size Icaja. C. To activate, press return.
We've got Karja, the file manager.
Deconf editor, disk usage analyzer, disk usage log file mate system log disk usage analyzer.
How come we've got two of these? Disk usage analyzer. Maybe the different versions.
Disk usage and log file viewer.
We've got the log file viewer.
Mate system, mate terminal, power statistics, system log, system monitor, system profiler, and system testing. Exterm.
I don't know what these guys are, but I should imagine they're terminals. And we've got system profiling and benchmark. So maybe if you want to show off your fancy new Linux system, then go ahead.
System universal access menu, onboard, screen re-onboard.
And there's our universal access.
Universal accessories menu.
And we're back in the main.
Create and modify an archive.
We're back in the main section. Now I'm not going to go into the settings because they're the same as a regular Ubuntu settings. You can explore those for yourself. So how about we try installing some apps? Can we still download apps from the repositories? Now I don't think
Desktop
we can.
Frame.
I'm going to give it a try.
U1. Desktop Frame. Jordan's Doma waste basket icon.
Where's the software?
Top expanded. Top expanded graphic office sound and system universal access menu onboard. Places menu. System menu. Administrator. Dunsky parted. Network. Printers. Software startup. Disk creator. S.
Oh yeah, we've got some more applications here, so...
Software updater.
There's our software updater.
Start synaptic package manager. Time and day. Ubuntu Software Center. Users and groups.
There's the Ubuntu Software Center.
Xdiagnose. Apt CD. A.
Now Xdiagnose is great for, diagnosing graphics issues.
Xdi users and through Ubuntu Software Center. Administrator Control Center.
We've got the
C.
control center.
About mate. Lock screen. Log out. Door shut down. Preference administration menu. Control set. Pref about. Disappear. Assisted technology. Back. Loot disks. File input. Keyboard. And main body mount. Net on online pass. Pop-up power management. Reverse screen. Software sound. Start window. About me.
Oh, you can use online accounts on here. That's kind of cool.
Preferences menu. P. To enter a sub-administrator about locked. Log out. Shut down. Preference administrator. Control about mate. A.
Where's the
Control Center, Places menu, System Administrator Control About Lock Screen, Log Out Door Shut Down, Preferences menu, Administration Control Center About Mate, Control Administration menu,
There we go, Administration.
Net Printer Software Updater, Startup Synaptic Time and Day Ubuntu Users and Ubuntu Software Center, U.
Okay, let's open the Software Center and see what apps we can install still.
Desktop Frame, Icon View Layered Pane 0 Items. Wastebasket icon. To move to items, use either the arrow keys or type ahead searching. Desktop frame. Top expanded edge panel frame. Top expanded edge panel. System menu. To enter a sub-menu, press the right arrow. Ubuntu Software Center frame. Finished loading. Our star apps. Finished loading. Our star
Debian
apps.
project. All images have been generated and the builder is cooling back down. Testing continues before they are released and the mirrors hashtag
Finished
releasing
loading.
enable signing.
Our star apps. Come and explore our favorites.
Accidental touch protection. Accidental touch protection. Accidental touch protection. Lock screen.
Finished
Selected.
loading. Our star apps.
If I was a Linux distro maintainer, I wouldn't go bragging about it on Twitter. Well, that's exactly what Debian are doing.
Finished load Ubuntu Software Center frame. Accessories push button. Books and developer education push button.
So our apps are in categories. Yeah, we've got ads from, Vinux.
Finished loading.
They want you
Our
to download
Ubuntu
their
Software
apps.
Center frame. Games push button. Graphics push. Internet push
So let's see what
button.
we've got on the internet.
Chat push button. File sharing push button.
File sharing.
Finished
Let's see what we've got on
Ubuntu
there.
Software table with for history navigate. My top rated table with my top progress. My top table with Crazy Ripper. No BT Damo Serial. Kget. Azurus. Ubuntu Software Center frame. Table with photo chat. Transmission remote GTK.
Oh wow, we've got transition remote GTK.
Nautilus Dropbox.
And here we go, Dropbox. Let's
Finished
go ahead and
loading.
install it. If it'll let
Ubuntu
us
Software
install it.
Center frame. Nautilus Dropbox is an extension that integrates the Dropbox web service with your GNOME desktop. Installing this package will download the proprietary Dropbox binary from dropbox.com.panel. Finished loading. Our star apps Ubuntu finished Ubuntu Soft.
Let's just install it. If it'll let me install.
Updates Canonical does not provide updates for Dropbox. Some updates may be provided by the Ubuntu community. Ubuntu Software most help history in Dropbox. Sync your install push
There
button.
we go, install.
9%. Finished loading. Our star apps. Command X.
Don't want to see your star apps, Linux.
Ubuntu Software Center. Most helpful English. Authenticate
There
to
we go.
install or remove software.
There's our authentication.
Details. Toggle password.
Type our password in. And Dropbox will install.
Ubuntu Software Center frame. English combo box. 50%. Ubuntu Software Center. Ubuntu Software Center frame. English combo box.
Now it should be installed now.
Most help history rock. Sync your Nautilus develop version total size version develop drop program. Most English most history na Dropbox. Sync your Nautilus developer where Nautilus Dropbox selected lane progress. Not selected radio Ubuntu soft English combo updates canonical license under.
We'll see if it's installed. Let's go into our internet because it's going to be found in there.
Updates canonical.
Let's close the
waste
software
basket
center.
icon. Top expanded their top educate graphics internet browser drop Firefox Web Browser.
We've got Dropbox. Woohoo! So I'm not going to sign into Dropbox on this video because I can do that in my own time. But there we go. Just installed an app from the Ubuntu Software Center on Linux. So what's next then? Well, we've nothing else to do on this. We've nothing else to do with our Linux VM, so I'm going to go ahead and shut it down.
Internet menu, system menu, shutdown, S, desktop frame, top expanded edge panel frame, top expanded edge panel,
Linux stopping Oracle VM VirtualBox. Linux Power VirtualBox C program.
And as a bonus trip, instead of using vinux, I'm going to show you my absolute favorite distro, and I recommend you do use it because it's absolutely good. It will save you a lot of time. Let's go over to my Linux Mint VM.
Button Zorin OS for
There's Zorin OS.
Manjaro
Manjaro.
Ubuntu Mate 20.
Ubuntu Mate.
Pop OS.
Pop OS.
Linux Mint.
There we go, Linux Mint.
Menu set move X remove group alt start alt T.
So I'm going to show you two alternatives. So I've got two alternatives you can. No, actually, I'll show you three of them. So we've got. Well, then again, I'll show you them all. Actually, I'll show you all my VMs before I end this video.
Pause start alt T.
So here we have my Linux Mint VM.
Normal start alt N. Oracle VM VirtualBox Manager window split button list Linux Mint powered off Oracle VM VirtualBox Linux Mint starting Oracle VM VirtualBox Linux Mint running Oracle VM VirtualBox.
And I think the volume is high on this. So we'll let Linux Mint boot.
Screen reader on. Login screen frame. Enter password for Jordan password text.
Ooh, that is loud.
Bullet.
Now I've set the login sound up on this VM, so you'll be able to hear it. You ready? Ah, yes, the lovely Linux Mint login sound.
Screen reader on. Welcome frame. List with 5 items. Welcome.
I've got to update this VM, so Linux Mint is still being updated. It's always going to be active. The latest version is 20.2, but this is just to prove that it does work with Orca. And let's go into our application to see that we do get some of the same apps.
Welcome menu. Accessories archive manage calculate character color select dictionary disks. Document file rename image viewer mate font notes onboard redshift search tool take screenshot. Text editor, USB image write accessor graphics internet menu browser web Chromium web browser, Dropbox, Firefox web Google Chrome, Hex chat, iStub mail, Nitro share, QBitTorrent, Thunderbird May transmission, Internet Office menu, LibreOffice, Office sound and the celluloid hypnotic rhythm box sound, celluloid hypnotics.
I don't have VLC installed on here. That's cool. That's different. But I'm going to show you how to install apps on here. So all you got to do is just search for them. So if you're typing VLC.
Welcome frame. Celluloid frame.
Don't want to sell you.
Notification frame. Text.
Hey up. I missed that notification, so let's check out VLC.
Advanced Search Computer Install Package VLC bin push button. Install package VLC plugin video output. Install package VLC plugin SVG. Push install package gem plugin VLC. Install package VLC plugin Samba. Install package VLC plugin Fluid Synth. Install package VLC plugin Qt. Push.
Look at that, we can install these just by pressing enter on them.
Install package libcodec. Install package VLC plugin Skins 2. Install package VLC plugin visualization text. VLC selected. Celluloid frame.
Let's get out of that celluloid.
Welcome frame.
Don't know why that's open. So I'm going to go ahead and install Audacity just as an example, just by tapping it in.
About with search computer install package Audacity push button. Welcome frame. Audacity dialog install additional software. Install push cancel push install push button. Welcome frame. List with 5 items. Welcome.
Oops, I didn't press space. Let's try that again.
Frame. About search install package Audacity push button. Welcome frame. Audacity dialog install additional software. Do you want to install install push cancel push install push button. Welcome frame. List with authenticate dialog to install or remove software. You need to authenticate. An application is attempted.
So we're going to install Audacity that way.
Installing packages dialog. 15%. %. Welcome frame. List with 5 items. Welcome.
Okay, so let's shut the distro down and I'll show you the next alternative you can use to Linux.
Menu. Shut down. Alert. Shut down this. Cancel push. Shut down push.
So Linux Mint is shutting down.
Lit virtual box C.
So let's...
Button. Pop OS. Button. Triskel Linux virtual.
I can't show you Pop OS because that doesn't seem to want to boot. So Triskel is another unique distro. Let me see if I'm still recording.
Camera cam pause video. Stop taking.
Yeah, I'm still recording. There we go. So Triskel, this is really cool. This distro is a mainstream Linux distribution, like a mainstream one. It's got a really popular entry on Distro Watch, but it starts with the screen reader installed. How awesome is that? And even better, it only allows free and open source software on its repositories. You can still install stuff like Google Chrome on it though. So I'm going to go ahead and start Triskel up.
Or virtual.
Where is it?
Button. Linux Mint virtual.
There's Linux
Button.
Mint.
Triskel. Menu setting. Clone. Move. Extra. Move. Group. Alt. Start. Alt. T.
I like the startup.
Service updating.
And there's the weather app on my phone updated. I like the startup sound on this distro. You'll hear it in a minute. It's probably one of the nicest Linux startup sounds I've ever heard.
Normal start. Oracle.
Okay, the VM is starting. Let me just make...
Button. Camera download. Triskel Linux running Oracle.
Here we go. Triskel is now running.
Screen reader on. Login screen frame.
Let's log in and take a look at what we get with Triskel.
Bullet. 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 Bullet.
Listen to that login sound.
Screen reader on.
Could you just fall asleep to that? I could. I wish Windows used that as a login screen. I'm tempted to use it as my Linux Mint login screen for my Linux Mint laptop, which I've got over where my Mac is. So, what apps do we get with Triskel then? All these I've configured these to use the Mate desktop, and Triskel does use the Mate desktop by default. And the Linux Mint that I've shown, that is the Mate edition of Linux Mint.
Menu. Internet menu.
So we're starting off with our internet.
A browser, web browser.
This is Triskel's version of Firefox, simply called a browser.
iStuff
iStuff, which is their Thunderbird alternative. Well, it's basically... It is Thunderbird. It's just basically Thunderbird with all the proprietary stuff taken out of it.
Pigeon Internet Messenger.
And we've got the silly Pigeon.
Dropbox. Electrum Bitcoin Google Chrome. Electrum Bitcoin Wallet.
My Uncle Michael's obsessed with Bitcoin, so he'd love this distro.
Google Chrome. Jammy.
We've got Jammy. Who even uses Jammy, and what is Jammy anyway? Is it a social network? Is it better than Facebook, or is it an alternative to MeWe? I've got so many questions that I can't answer right now.
Liverear. Nitro Share. Remote Desktop Viewer Transmission. A browser web browser.
Obviously, I've installed Google Chrome because you don't get it with Trisquel.
Internet menu. Office menu. Graphics Office menu. LibreOffice. LibreOffice Draw.
So we've got LibreOffice Draw.
Office menu. Graphics menu.
So, our graphics, this is one of the distros that still ships GIMP.
GNU Image Manipulation Program.
And here it is, right at the top of our screen. Boy, I don't like GIMP. If you see GIMP on any of your Linux distros, I'd recommend uninstalling it because it does... You save some disk space. I class GIMP as bloatware.
Graphics menu. Sound and video menu.
So sound and video, we've got Brasero,
Cheese, Rhythmbox, Sound, VLC Media Player.
Hey, we get VLC pre-installed in here. That's kind of nice.
Brasero, Sound and Games menu.
We even have some games.
I'll write Solid Chess, Mahjong, Mines, Sudoku. I'll write Solid Games accessories menu. Actual document Kaja. Character document Vien Ramperak. I'll rename mate calculate dictionary mate disk using mate font mate search mate terminal onboard. Passwords and PDF shot Luma text screen mag take screenshot. Access other menu. Back in time deconf editor. GDEM iPad log file viewer mate system monitor power statistics.
Now you'll know that in Vinux we didn't even have gdebi installed on there, so we couldn't actually install any packages. I think Linux Mint actually has this, so...
Back in time.
Okay, so let's shut Trisquel down. I'm not going to show you how to install apps on that because, well, there is an add and remove software icon out there. I haven't got time to show you how all these distros differ. I'm just going to show you them to show that there are an alternative to Vinux. Because I don't want people still using Vinux right now, especially in 2021. And in 2023, the repository for 14.04 will be shut down anyway. I mean, the one for Vinux 4.1 is no longer up.
Power statistics, mate system monitor.
Let me
other menu, accessories menu, games menu, sound graph office menu, internet shutdown, logout, Georgia shutdown.
Click on shutdown.
Frame.
VirtualBox C program.
Now our next distro is...
Trisquel Linux.
We've got Trisquel.
Button. Ubuntu 11.0.
There's Ubuntu 11.04, I was just testing it.
Button. Trisquel Linux.
Trisquel.
Button. Linux Mint.
Got Linux Mint.
Button. Pop OS.
Pop OS, which doesn't work.
Button. Ubuntu Mate 20.04.
Okay, let's launch Ubuntu Mate 20.04.
Menu. Setting. Clone. Move. Extra. Move. Group. All. Start. Alt. T.
Now I absolutely love this distro, mainly because of its intro screen. You can actually install Google Chrome right from the get-go. That's what makes this distro one of my favourites.
Normal. Start. Alt. N.
So let's go boot up Ubuntu Mate 20.04.
Oracle VM VirtualBox Manager window. Split button. List. Ubuntu Mate 20.04.2.0 LTS and 64 powered off Oracle VM VirtualBox. Ubuntu Mate 20.04.2.0 LTS and 64 starting Oracle VM VirtualBox. Ubuntu Mate 20.04.2.0 LTS and 64.
Screen reader on. Login screen frame. Enter password for Jordan password text.
Email. Disney Plus get hooked on a new series.
Oh, thank goodness it's not reading the entire email. And yes, it's from Disney Plus. I'm a subscriber, by the way, and I love it. Disney Plus is awesome. If you're not a subscriber, I recommend subscribing to it. It's awesome. Come watch all your favourite Disney films. Every Disney Plus subscriber gets the upcoming thing in their email inbox. Anyway, so let's log into our Ubuntu Mate VM. It's ready for us to log in, so I've just got to type the password in for that.
Bullet.
Now what this is essentially a skinned version of Ubuntu with the Mate desktop. Ubuntu being the distro that Vinux is based off of. So let me log in. I've set the logon sound up for this as well.
Screen reader on.
And our screen reader is on. Now we're going to wait for the welcome dialog to pop up. So we've got the welcome, just like what we saw with Linux Mint.
Welcome frame.
I'm not going to show you the Manjaro one because I haven't actually got it installed. The Manjaro installer isn't accessible, which is surprising because this is the SourceForge page is Manjaro talking, and yet the installer isn't accessible. I'm not sure how long that's going to last. I wonder if the standard Manjaro is any different. Anyway, so here we are, the welcome screen. So
Introduction push button, features push button, getting started, get involved push button, shop push button, donate push button, community push button, chat room push button, software push button.
There's our software list.
Browser selection push button.
Now the browser selection, that is where you can download Google Chrome without doing anything. You don't even have to open your primary browser. So once you've installed Google Chrome, you can uninstall Firefox and just use Google Chrome as your default browser. I haven't even installed Dropbox on this VM yet, which I'm going to have to do anyway.
Color selection push button. Desktop layout push button. Ubuntu Mate website push button.
There's all sorts. Let's close out of the welcome dialog and see what apps we get.
Desktop. Desk menu. Accessories backups. Character lists. Enramper Mate calc. Mate font. Mate search. Passwords and blank. Plumer. Redshift. Take screens. Ubuntu Mate backups. Character accessories education menu LibreOffice
Wheel
education graphics menu Internet Firefox Web Browser Google Chrome transmission Firefox Web Browser.
Now you just heard Google Chrome. That's what we installed through the welcome. That's what I installed through the welcome dialog. If I didn't install Google Chrome, I'd just have Firefox and transmission and Dropbox if I hadn't installed it already. Well, if I installed it, that's for sure. So you get pretty much the same. It pretty much gives you the same apps, so you're not really missing anything if you switch to a different distro. And if you want me to show you how to enable the login sound on the distro that you switch to, let me know in a future in a comment. Because Vinux users really love having a login sound there, and modern distros don't have that right out of the box, so you're going to want to configure it to do so. So let's switch this Ubuntu Mate VM off and look at the last Linux distribution, Zorin OS. Now this one's a bit tricky, and I'll tell you in a bit. So let's close.
Transmission, Google Firefox Web Transmission, Google Chrome, Firefox Web Browser, Internet Men, Graphics Men, Education Accessor shutdown.
But that software boutique is awesome. It's basically the Ubuntu Mate Software Center.
Alert, shut down this system now. Cancel push shutdown push button.
And now,
program 5.
Finally, for these VMs is Zorin OS. If I can find it.
Button Vinux.
There's Vinux.
Button Zorin O. Men set move extra move group start alt T.
So let's start up
Normal
Zorin.
start alt N. Oracle VM virtual back.
Now this distro was invented in Ireland, by the way.
Camera up download Zorin OS running Oracle. Start with
No,
Zorin
still
OS
isn't
running
it.
Oracle VM virtual box.
So let's wait for the Zorin to boot. Now this is tricky because it lacks.
Screen reader on. Login screen frame. Enter password for Jordan password text.
It lacks to turn Orca off, does Zorin. And it doesn't come with the Mate desktop by default, so you have to install it. So I'm going to show you what apps come with this Zorin OS, and then we're going to call it a day. I love the login sound on Zorin.
Wallet.
But it's not going to turn off the screen reader, which is a good thing.
Wallet.
Now, all the other distros I've shown are based on Ubuntu 20.04. Trisquel and this distro are based on 18.04. So let's log in. I love the login sound for this distro.
Screen reader on.
And here we have our lovely Zorin OS desktop. If you can call Zorin OS's default desktop lovely, because I don't like the... Well, even though I can't see it, I don't like the feel of Zorin. I just found it too clunky. Now, this comes with the GNOME desktop by default, so you're going to want to have to navigate around that. But if you want to install the Mate desktop and the Light Display Manager, then go ahead and use the terminal and type in the following commands. Well, I recommend you install aptitude first, so type sudo apt install aptitude. Then using aptitude, type in sudo apt install mate desktop Mate extras light DM, press enter, accept any of the permissions, and it'll go ahead and install those. Then what you want to do, once they're all installed, restart the system. Well, while that DM is being installed, I should say, you'll see this pop up, package configuration. Press enter on that. Select Light DM from the list, press enter on that, and it should be ready for you for when you next reboot. So on the next reboot, you'll see the Light Display Manager, turn the screen reader on as you normally would, log in, switch, but use the Session Manager to switch to the Mate desktop, and tap your password in, of course, and then you're ready to go. You're ready to start using Zorin OS. Now, let me see if I'm on the desktop. Yeah, the annoying thing about this distro is it's slow.
Window. Text.
But can we actually get on our desktop? No. That's a shame. Let me try and open Karja. No. So this is a tricky one, because even though Mate is accessible, it seems like Zorin has removed most of the features. But you can still navigate your list of apps just by pressing the Windows key.
Window. Text. About me push button. Additional driver. I'll write solid appearance. Push archive manager. Assisted tech. Natural document backup. Push the Bluetooth adapt. Bluetooth manager. Brasero. Push the Karja. Push the calculator. Calendar. Push calculator. Karja. Push the.
Yeah, none of these default apps actually work.
Window. Text. I'll write some more in connect or in appearance push button.
But you get the exact same features.
Windows push weather push VLC videos push
I wonder
button.
if I can enable assistive technologies.
About me put additional I'll write solitaire appearance push archive manager assisted tech natural docu assisted technologies preferences. Preferred applications push button jump to preferred applications dialog. Enable assisted technologies checkbox not ticked. Preferred applications. Run at start check accessibility page tab. Run at start checkbox not ticked. Onboard combo box. Run at start checkbox not ticked. Help push button. Close push button. Help access onboard. Run at start accessibility close push button.
Guess we can close out of that. Wait there a sec, can I?
Assisted technology. Enable assisted technologies checkbox ticked. Keyboard accessibility book.
Re-adding the new record Steam to have help. Load the GTL1D event. Add it to email.
Let me turn my phone off because I'm getting so many emails. And by the way, that distro is from OpenSUSE, which isn't accessible. I highly discourage you using OpenSUSE. But those emails have stopped now. Okay, so we were exploring Zorin. So let me see what we got here.
Mouse accessibility, keyboard accessibility, push button, jump to the keyboard, mouse help, push button, close and log out, push button.
Close and log out, see what we've got. See if this actually fixes our issue. If it's logged us out. Let me try logging back in again. Nah.
Save screenshot, save
There's our screenshots though.
Desktop combo box, name, text, screen.
And our desktop still isn't accessible. Yeah, I'd give Zorin a no on that one. All the other distros work though. So let me see if I can shut this thing down.
The VirtualBox C program files.
And that's the end of the video. Boy, I had so much fun reviewing those distros. But the main focus of the video was looking at Vinux and looking at the alternatives you can try that I know have Orca built in on them. Now, in order to enable such a feature, you just simply press Windows, Alt and S. But in the case of Zorin and some other Linux distributions, you just tap Orca in there. You press Alt and F2 and type in Orca. Now, I keep saying Windows a lot when I should be saying the super key because that's what it is in Linux. And yeah, I just had a thought. So Vinux in 2021. Yeah, it can be used somewhat, but I highly discourage using it as an everyday use. So, like I said, there are many distros, but stick to those 4 that I showed.
Camera 01 camera. Pause video. Stop tape.
And I definitely don't recommend Accessible Coconut. It's just so unstable. And this is Jordan signing off, saying have a good day, everyone. Oh, but before I go ahead and end the video, what's your favourite Linux distro in the comments? I want to know. And let me know what distro you ended up going for. This is Jordan signing off, saying have a good day, everyone.